So check this out. Here's 5 ways how you can improve your workout in 5 minutes or less. So you think 5 minutes is not a lot, but actually when I take you through these strategies, you'll see how much better your training session can be by doing these things for 5 minutes. And they are either before a training session, during a training session, at the end of a training session. But again, this is science integrated into practical stuff that you can actually do. And I promise you your next workout will be the best one yet. All right, so this first strategy is adding a power primer before your training session. So if it's a lower body training session, we do a lower body power primer, and I'll show you one. If we're doing an upper body one, we do an upper body power primer. I'll show you that too. But now if it's a full body, we'd actually mix these up, and you would put 5 minutes on the clock, right? And this is the simple way to do it. It's like we put 5 minutes on a timer and then we rock and roll. And the whole premise of this is like doing the exercises without building up a lot of fatigue, right? The goal is not to get really tired. It is to like engage the nervous system, like get yourself riled up, prep for the session, and get blood flow, and I would say a pump in certain muscle groups, right? So what we're gonna do for that, imagine that we got lower body primer, so power primer, and power that primer is we're gonna do a box jump, right, with a step down, and then we're gonna do a glute bridge while we're squeezing that physio ball, right? So we're gonna get adductors on, glutes, hamstrings, the whole shebang. So I'm gonna do just like 4 jumps here, and then I'm gonna do about 8 reps on this and then come back to it, okay? And again, at the beginning, you might feel a little bit more rusty. This would be after dynamic warm-ups, right? So I've done my warm-ups, but now I'm going to my power and primer. We'd go down. Again, you go med ball with this. I like this physio ball. I actually like to do kind of a segmental roll. So I'm gonna go, my low back comes off the ground, my mid back comes off the ground, upper back comes off the ground. I'm squeezing that ball at about 5 out of 10, and then coming back the same way. So again, I'm not trying to kind of smoke myself here, right? We're just getting everything turned on the way that we want to. And for the purposes of this video, I'm just gonna do a few less reps. I might go like 6 to 8 reps on that. I'd stand back up. Again, I'm not trying to rush it, but at the same time, I'm also kind of moving, right? I'm gonna get a little bit of a sweat going. I'd go right back to it and get my box jumps. So if it was an upper body day, in and of itself, my primer, it could be a plyo push-up, it could be a throw. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna do a bent over chest throw to the ground, right? So I'm gonna go here, explosive, six to 8 seconds. And then my primer is gonna be for the upper back. So this could be face pulls, it could be band pull aparts. Nice and controlled. Again, I'm trying to get that upper back. Again, because that's gonna be the base off of your press. So we wanna get blood flow in there. I like doing shoulder raises here too. Just think about all the things that you'd want nice and warmed up and primed before you go into your session. Because again, if you just start, even after your dynamic warm-ups, you just go straight into a bench press or a squat, right? You can start getting cranky joints. This will help you with that, okay? So if I had a full body, I might do these 4 exercises in a row, right? Same thing, 5 minutes on a timer. So it's very, very, very simple. And for lower body, you can do sprints, box jumps. You can do broad jumps, right? You can do scoop tosses. You can do reactive on and off the box jumps. For upper body, we can do plyo push-ups, wall ball throws. Same thing, seated scoop tosses. There's a lot of different variations depending on what you're doing. But this in and of itself, try it the next time you're doing a training session and then see how much better you feel. All right, so the second, I would say, 5-minute drill that's gonna improve your workout is doing fillers during your rest breaks. And fillers are things that are gonna help you improve mobility, maybe enhance the lift that you're actually doing, or just improve movement quality of the lift. And some of the things it can do is, 1, cut down your warm-ups, because again, you're gonna imagine you're doing ramp-up sets, but instead of resting, you're doing fillers in between, right? And the thing is, they're not gonna interfere with the main lift. So the whole premise is for it not to be a hard exercise to interfere in between your lift, right? Although there's an option too, is like where you're gonna improve your weak links, and I'll give you an example of that too, during those breaks. But I'll give you like the scenarios of like, what would a filler be in between, for example, a squat or a deadlift day, right? So for squats, one of the things that I might do, so imagine I did, front squat day, and I did my couple warm-up sets, and my filler would be a couch stretch, right? So, and I can do a couple of things here, right? So during my break, I'm gonna go back. If I'm pretty tight, I'm gonna be stretching or opening up my hip, and then I can push forward and work on some of the ankle mobility, right? So I can pull this, try to get this foot off the ground. So I'm activating the tibialis here. I'm getting some ankle mobility. Boom, I'm coming back, getting in that big stretch, reaching. Right, so opening up lats, hip flexor, lateral line, bam, and I'm going forward. Right, so imagine doing that for 5 reps per side and then going back to my squat. So it's gonna help me improve my movement from set to set. It's not gonna fatigue me. It's not gonna affect my strength and or power in those exercises, right? It could also be if I'm doing a deadlift, I might do a 90-90 where I'm gonna go here, right, get some more hip external rotation, but then I can also, on this back leg, right, do openers, push into the ground, lift off, work on internal rotation, and just going 5 reps per side, right? That's my filler. For a bench press, it could be, by the way, another quick one that's easy for the lower body is rock backs. I'm just doing adductor rock backs if you have tight adductors. In that same position, if I was gonna do bench, I can do something, your shoulders are gonna feel way better if I get more thoracic mobilities, right? So I may do a quadruped where I'm gonna go here, exhale, and just open up my T-spine. Right, and I'm gonna do 5 reps per side. And then from there, maybe go into a band pull apart, right? Face pull, band pull apart. Just activating that upper back. Now imagine on for a deadlift as well, where I could be doing a straight arm, right? Lat pull down. So I'm in this hinge position. I'm getting the lats to turn on, really squeezing that. And I'm gonna do that when I go and do a deadlift, right? So again, this is great for anybody, for general population. So imagine that somebody has, pretty crappy posture. They need to work on upper back strength. They need to open up their T-spine. They need to open up their hips. If we're doing, 3 times 2 exercises in supersets, you're looking at like doing 9 different sets of fillers, right? At least. So that means that every training session, they're getting 9 sets of improving something that's a weak link for them, right? Another option for a filler is on an upper body day, doing something like a calf raises for filler. So let's say I just did a dumbbell bench press, and then I did a T-bar row. That was my superset. And in between the break, I'm gonna go do a single leg calf raise, right? And again, it's not gonna affect, it's really not a huge, big systemic load issue. It's not gonna affect my upper body kind of exercises, but it's gonna add a certain level of volume throughout the week on things that I need to bring up, right? So fillers can be really, really valuable, used in a smart way, enhance your movements, enhance your workout, and work on things that, again, you need to bring up, right? So that's our second 5-minute option to improve your workout. All right, so number 3 is adding loaded carries to the end of your training session. Now, we've been doing this for almost 20 years with our clients and continue to do it. So 2 different options. First of all, loaded carries can work on, they do build muscle. People will say, they don't really build muscle. I would say from using these in the weight room, things that we've seen are all positive, right? They can affect, I would say, core. First of all, building abs, like core strength, and upper back. Like if you've ever done loaded carries, and like I'm talking about rack position as well as here, forearms, upper back, shoulder stability will all improve, right? So it's like a small ROI for a big benefit. And you have so many different ways to do it. Now I'm gonna show you a bunch of kettlebell variations, but if your main thing is kind of strength, take a trap bar and you're gonna go as heavy as you can, pick it up, And then for 20, 30 seconds, we're just walking with that trap bar. And we're gonna go 3 to 4 sets at the end of your training session, right? So walk for 20, 30 seconds, rest for about 60 to 75 seconds, and repeat. So 3 to 4 sets, that'll be 5 minutes. Now, if your goal is more of, I would say, building muscle or maybe fat loss, like we'll put anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes on the timer, and we'll choose a variation. So variations can be, I'll just show you a couple here, right? We can just do our regular farmer's walks, right? A suitcase carry means we're just doing it on one side, okay? We can do a cross body one, which it could be cross body here, or it could be cross body here, where we're just walking, okay? I love Zercher walks. So Zercher bar or a sandbag and just keeping it in front, double kettlebell rack right here. So what I like to do is have a person start with a more challenging variation. So let's say this person's just starting off. So we might do 3 minutes on the clock, and they would start with a double kettlebell rack, right? So this is the most challenging one. And they would just be walking back and forth, right? Pretend like I'm going up and down on turf. Let's say they do a minute. It's like, whoa, I can't do anymore. They go down here. Now we continue, right? Farmer's walk. My grip is gonna start getting spent. So what they can do is put one down, and now we're just gonna go basically a suitcase carry, and they can switch it. This side gets tired, they keep going, right? This side gets tired, they can keep going. So this is just one variation. You could just do, again, one way, have them put it down, rest as long as needed, and go right back to it, because now you can actually determine how far they've walked, right? Meaning, let's say that they walked the first time through 150 yards. Next time, 170. Next time, 200. Well, my little rule is that once you're able to do about 25% to 30% more distance, we'd up the weight, right? And then we'd do it again. And you'd be surprised how 3 to 5 minutes, doing it twice a week at the end of your training sessions over months, the difference that it'll make, right? It absolutely does make a difference. It's something we still continue to do with our clients because it's been effective. And again, sometimes, whether you read the research or not, we've seen this in real life. So that's a simple one to add core strength, build some muscle, rip strength, which we know also transfers very well to, I say, longevity, mortality. So plug these in, 5 minutes is gonna give you a big ROI. This is an often missed 5 minutes that could enhance your recovery. And most of the time when people get done with their training session, so let's say I just did a finisher, I just did the farmer's walks that I showed you guys, and I was like, all right, and I'm out of here, right? So I just had a stressful workout. I was in fight or flight, right? Because when we train, we're in a sympathetic state, right? Fight or flight. And as soon as I'm done, I pack up, I go into my car, and I drive off, which means that I have not entered a parasympathetic state, which means rest and digest, which means recovery state. And so just taking 3 to 5 minutes to cool down and calm down is excellent. And I'll just show you 2 different things that we recommend to our clients. When they're done, go on some type of cardio, very light, meaning 100 beats a minute per minute or less, right? So that means if I go on an echo bike, I might say, hey, 2 minutes on the echo bike, but again, I'm moving, but I could talk to you. Ideally we have a heart rate monitor, right? But it's like I want to be 100 beats per minute or less. So that is very, very, very light. Like I'm bringing things down, right? I just kind of finished on a finisher, on conditioning, high intensity conditioning. Now I'm bringing it down, might be on a bike. And then one of the last things we'll do is do our box breathing, right? So being relaxed on the ground, elevate my feet. And then from here, I tend to just have people put their hands on their rib cage. The reason why is because box breathing is 4-second exhale, 4-second hold, 4-second inhale, 4-second hold. And if you can't hold for 4 seconds, just do it for a couple seconds. So for example, I'm gonna go exhale for 4, through my mouth, hold, inhale through my nose, 4 seconds, then hold, and exhale through mouth again. When I exhale, I want my ribs to come down. When I inhale, I want to fill up my belly and fill my hands with air. Now, if you just put a timer for 3 minutes, what's gonna do is gonna bring that heart rate down, it's gonna bring your tone down, and the main thing is gonna start getting you into a recovery state, right? So that way, when you actually leave your training session, you are in a recovery state, and that's what we want, right? We wanna have as much recovery time, so we created a stimulus for the body for it to start recovering. So that's 5 minutes that are very, very beneficial, again, rather than just ending a hard training session, packing up, jetting out, and not getting into that recovery state. Number 5 is getting in band work. Anytime, any place, maybe not anytime, any place, but here's the deal. Like, we're talking about band work at the end of warm-ups, like we mentioned, right? Where we're going to do 2 to 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps to feel something, to activate things, right? Because it's not going to create any type of nervous system fatigue. It's not going to create like a lot of muscular damage in any type of way. But the goal is to feel. So it might be, again, shoulder raises. For anybody that has cranky shoulders and you're gonna do any type of upper body workout, maybe I'm gonna do 20 to 25 reps, right? And then keep a short break. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm feeling that, right? So that might be part of a warm up. We talked about fillers, but I also think that like at the end of a workout, getting pump work in, one, it feels great. It gets blood flow into the joints. But for example, if we were gonna go and do 100 reps, 50 to 100 reps of curls, right? Same thing, do 2 sets of that, right? Things are gonna feel great, but you can, with accumulation, also bring up lagging body parts. So let's say that on your off day, right, your recovery day, it might be conditioning, but I'm gonna get 100 band pull-aparts as fast as I can. Now, I used to do this back in the day and really kind of built up my upper back, because I would do these daily, right? For 100. And imagine that I got 15 to 20, couldn't do any more, would shake it off, and then do it again, right? You got tricep snap downs, right? If you have cranky shoulders, this is great. You know, if you go, I would say a heavier band, you can also do the same thing where I'm doing multiple sets of 50 to 100, and I'm doing plenty of that. You're gonna see results, but again, it's not gonna really take away from your main training because it's not stressful like that. And if you've ever done like 50 reps like this with a lighter band, right? And you do curls and tricep snap downs, and then see how your shoulders feel, like, again, your elbows feel. It's gonna be a huge difference, okay? But then also what you can do is things like TKEs. Actually, I didn't even show this one, but straight arm lat pull downs is another one, right? Where I can go here, bent over position. And again, I can have a lighter band. I can have a stronger band. I can do face pulls, which is another great kind of shoulder drill. Like I said, in warm-ups, this might be 20, 25, or it could be a finisher at the end of the workout for 100 reps, or it could be an off day for 100 reps. Band TKEs. And again, there's a lot of, exercises I could show here because band TKEs, just gonna work on that quad. Let me pull me forward. So I'm actually working on some ankle mobility here, but I'm also getting to fire up the quad. You do 50 of these, like your quad, your VMO is gonna be pumping, right? And I can also do hamstring curls, right? I can be seated on the box and then do my hamstring curls for high reps as well, right? So band work in general, and again, I like timers, especially even for myself, because I'm limited on time. I'm consistently working, coaching, doing things. So my time is crunched. And so it's the same thing for our clients, right? With the things that I shared today, fillers are in between the actual session. Primers at the end of the warm-up, you can integrate it in there, right? Farmer's walks are a finisher, for example, right? These, same thing. They're a finisher, or they could be off-day stuff. So every single one of these, it's 5 minutes to get you a lot of return on investment. And so use them. By the way, maybe don't start with all of them at the same time, but plug maybe 2 or 3 of them into your next 4-week cycle, 4-week program. And then let me know how you feel, how everything feels. Do you feel like you got a better training session? Did your joints feel better? Did you maybe lift a little bit more, get a couple more reps because you made those tweaks? And those things are gonna add up over time. So if you want more insights, information, wisdom from training to look, feel, and perform more like an athlete, make sure to subscribe to this channel.